Hello everyone, my name is Mirna, and on behalf of the Mindalia TV team, welcome to Mindalia live streaming, where thousands of people around the world gather daily to see the lectures and interviews organized by Mindalia TV. Today with us, Dr. Sirena Pelarolo, a board-certified holistic health coach, international author and speaker, radio host, and blogger with 30 years of experience in self-development, health, and wellness, is going to be having a great conversation with Panquetzani. I'm not gonna try and say the last name because I just can't, but it's very complicated for me. But what I can tell you about Panquetzani is that she is the foundress of Indigemama, Ancestral Healing. She is a traditional herbalist healer and birthkeeper. Panquetzani has touched over 30,000 wombs, bellies, and spread across 3 countries in 2,000 cities in the last decade, actually since 2012. Before starting with them, we want to remind you that Mindalia's mission is to share information that can help raise the level of consciousness around the world. You can help us by subscribing to our channel, leaving us a positive comment on this video, or sharing it with someone that you know that is going to benefit of the content that we're going to be talking here today. Also, if you are live streaming, we have the active chat, the screen you're going to be seeing here on our side, and through there you can interact with us. We want you to collaborate with Mindalia also with your own valuable content. And for that, you can go to our website. On the top, you're going to find a link that says Collaborate with Mindalia. That link takes you to a form that you can fill out. Our technical team will be getting in contact with you, and you can just bring your valuable content, not only in English, but you can also do it in Spanish through Mindalia Televisión and in Portuguese through Mindalia Televisão. Visit our different channels and platforms, follow our Facebook pages and Instagram accounts, and with that, you are not only helping us reach as much people in the planet as possible, but you also keep yourself updated with the wonderful information that we share there on a daily basis. We're not going to be delaying this any further. It's my honor now to welcome Panquetzani and Dr. Sirena Pelarolo. Girls, welcome to Mindalia live streaming. The screen is now yours. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, there. Thank you, Mirna. I'm very excited to co-host this interview with my dear Panquetzani. And welcome, Panquetzani. I know we've talked before when I had my radio show, but you have grown so much since then. And I've known you since you were very young. You were 19. We were both working building autonomous communities in East LA, Northeast LA, following the example of the Zapatistas in Chiapas. And we were very close when we were defending the South Central farm from evicted. So I would like to hear a little bit about your trajectory, because ever since then you have grown so much and what you're doing is so important for so many women. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your interests and your life, where you come from? Let us know who you are.
Sure, yeah. I was born and raised in Echo Park in LA, 5 minutes from downtown LA, California. And I'm the daughter of migrants. I'm actually the 2nd generation. So my mother was born and raised in Echo Park, and her and my dad lived down the street from each other, and they got together as teenagers and had me. Back then, Echo Park was really known for, it's Chicano, the Chicano culture, gang culture, and my parents were, just a part of one of those teen pregnancies that happened in Echo Park very often. And so I got to spend a lot of time with my abuela because she was a preschool teacher. And my mom would send me to school with my grandma. And so my grandma, being from Mexico, she thought it was important for me to learn Spanish. She thought it was important for me to know you're Mexican, even though you're living here in Echo Park, in LA, this is who we are. My grandma always cooked from scratch. There were never any, boxed, canned foods, everything just, ollas, always, the house always smelled like canela. She always had a big pot of canela. And, she always had her jardincito going. I remember her and my grandpa always fighting because my grandpa would cut down the herbs that were hard to maintain. And she was like, no, I use that, that's medicine. And he's like, es un tiradero, And so, they had like this beautiful lush garden, and I got to learn about what those herbs were for. And even like really obscure, like really common herbs, like the lemon tree. I learned that you can use the leaves for tea, and it's relaxing, and it tastes like lemonade. So when the lemons weren't in season and we couldn't make limonada, and it was colder, we'd make lemon tea, té de limón. And so I got to know like different types of té de limón, like not just the zacate, but just, different types of herbs. And I loved it. I loved it. And I really, like, she taught me how to sing rancheras, and she's like, tú vas a tocar la guitarra, you're going to learn how to play the guitar. And I did. I don't know why I listened to everything she said. And yeah, one of the big things that in both of my maternal and paternal lineage is taking care of folks when they're sick, and taking care of folks after they've had babies, during pregnancy. When people are at their most volatile, that's when this medicine comes to life, and we step up and we bring, hierbas for a limpia. We bring even the healing traditional foods. I didn't realize that, all of these traditions. My grandma would make big, huge pots of gelatinous bone broth, and she'd go to different places to get different pieces of the cow, like the hooves or the tuétano and the nervios, all of this to make a really rich soup. And so I thought it was just delicious, but as I became older and more into health, I was realizing, wow, this is a healthy way of living. This is a healthy way of being, and I've learned this and known this my whole life. And so I didn't really value it until 2008, when I became pregnant with my son. And my grandma was super like, did you have your atole? Did you have your caldo? Here's your tecito. Here, put your feet up. Let me massage them. You don't massage in a circle. No, always massage in a circle. Don't massage straight up. And, just like little things. And then once my friends, I was the first one of my grupito de amigas to get pregnant. And so once they started getting pregnant, they were like, oh, why did you do that thing? And I was like, you know what? I don't know. We just do it. And so I started asking questions like, why do we do that? And she's like, no sé, we just, es importante. Te ayuda. Te purifica la leche. It purifies your milk, or it helps you, just general questions. So I started to really investigate, why are these things healthy? Why are these things crucial to wellness? And then that's when I had my eyes kind of like a veil. I no longer took my abuela and her teachings for granted. I was like realizing that, okay, well, atole, it enriches your breast milk, it provides electrolytes. The cacao has theobromine, it calms the postpartum mom. It also smooths the smooth muscles in your body, it soothes them, and your uterus is one big smooth muscle. So it's soothing your uterus and allowing it to heal. And so just learning these medicinal properties made me feel like I was so rich. And when folks started coming to me and saying, teach me this, teach me that, being an organizer and having my roots in activism and also in just like practicality, being a practical person, well, you guys all get together, call me up, and I'll go, and we'll just do it all at the same time, And that's how I started teaching talleres. And for a whole year and a half, I taught free childbirth education classes in East LA. And we provided childcare. And I just called up my friends, hey, can you take care of these kids? I'm doing this class. Sure. We got a space for free with a projector, a popcorn machine, and so we're eating snacks, and we'd have a potluck. I'd have folks other birth workers in the community come, and so pretty soon I was just naturally out of need and out of the requests of my community, just kind of community building, just doing that natural community building that I learned as an Indigenous rights activist growing up. Mm-hmm.
That is.
When did you become It is amazing. When did you become Panquetzani? Because I knew you as something else.
Yeah. Well, Witiniwasati, my elder, he gave it to me at 19. We were in the sweat lodge and we got out, and then he looked at me and he said, Panquetzani. And I was like, oh no, he's talking now to me and I don't understand what he's saying.
What does it mean, Panquetzani? What's the meaning? I love it. It's so beautiful.
Panquetzani means lifter of banners and holder of banners. And the way he explained it to me was, it was the last day of Panquetzalistli, which is el levantamiento de las banderas. So everyone represents something, and every community represents something. And so the communities all get together and they lift their banners and they talk about what they represent, the work that they're doing, what they stand for at Panquetzalistli. And so he named me Panquetzani because he remembers, he's like, oh, I remember you when you would protest Disney every weekend and you were out there with your banners and, you know, fighting as an activist. And he said, you know what? All the years that I've known you and I've seen you around, you've really stuck by everything that you talk about. And other people, they go in and out, and you were a kid. He said, you were a kid doing this stuff, and now you're an adult and you're doing it even better. And he said, you're a guide, you're a leader, and you're grounded in what you do. You represent something. You are the banner. You speak for our people, for our ancestors.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the second part, Ticitl, am I saying it right?
Ticitl means midwife or healer or doctor.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I really wish I knew you 10 years ago. I had a very difficult pregnancy. It ended up being an induced birth, and you have no idea what I went through. And I'm just wishing that I knew someone like you that could be by my side, actually holding that banner that I wasn't able to see. Mm-hmm. What do you think are the problems or the challenges that we are encountering in this Eastern situation?
With childbirth?
Exactly, with the way we carry our capability of bringing children to the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the first thing is with the industrialization of healthcare. And when we become adults, we walk in to get our physical, maybe our annual PAP, maybe a breast exam. Even for the common cold, you go into the hospital and you automatically forfeit the autonomy to your body.
That's right.
Everyone I know who has had a pap smear or a gynecological exam, pelvic exam, they have a horrible story or, a story that made them feel uncomfortable, something that was done without their consent. I have folks who say that their speculum was left dangling while the doctor left the room, that cysts were popped without their permission, that procedures were done without knowing the full spectrum of pros and cons, just the pros and why it's good, but not the pain, not the side effects, not the long-term side effects. So, stuff like that. And we're kind of conditioned, like even with the public school system, we're conditioned to give up our autonomy. A silent person, an obedient person is a person who's good, And so that carries over. You bring your whole life with you to your pregnancy, and you bring your whole life with you to your birth. The way you live is the way you birth, So walking into that doctor's office and your doctor's saying, oh, you're advanced maternal age, or you're too old, basically. You're really old, so we have to keep an eye on you. And then so you're like, oh, I don't feel old, but I must be old if the doctor says I'm old. So all these worries come up, and those worries cause stress on your body, stress on your baby, stress during labor, and they accumulate, and it causes self-doubt. And so even if you look at other countries in the world, you see people having babies until menopause, and there's no talk about them being old, So it's just a lot of Western culture, a lot of the patriarchy infiltrating a natural process and basically infiltrating our bodies.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about your business, your work. I don't know how you want to call it, Indigemama.
Yeah. So I have an small enterprise called Indigemama Ancestral Healing, and I provide direct services. I provide sobadas de matriz. Sobadas de matriz is basically manual manipulation, so manipulating the internal organs with your hands and putting them into their respective positions. In Mesoamerican ideology and Mesoamerican medicine, we attribute prolapsed organs, dropped organs to other health problems. For example, if you have a womb so your womb should be 1 to 2 fingers below the belly button and 2 fingers above the pubic bone. And it should be midline. If your womb is not in that space, if it's lower, if it's tilted to the right, tilted to the left, tilted to the back, or a combination of them all, then what happens is you have adverse health effects. A lot of we call a frialdad de matriz, a coldness of the womb. And basically that just translates to low circulation, poor blood circulation. And of course you're going to have poor blood circulation if there is an organ in your body that's not exactly where it belongs. If it's dropped, there's going to be a little bit of inflammation, a little bit of tension, and that inflammation and that tension is not conducive to the natural fluid exchange that's supposed to happen with serous fluid in your viscera, and it's not conducive to normal blood flow. There's a lot of veins and blood that flows through your abdominal area. It's your aorta is right there, right behind your belly button. So if there's something pulling, tugging, cut off, then you're going to have poor circulation and symptoms of frialdad. Frialdad is when you have cólicos or cramps, like abdominal cramping. It could be infertility. It could be like a dull, achy pain. And then even worse, folks who have a prolapsed uterus for an extended amount of time, they have a medically prolapsed uterus. So Western doctors, they also diagnose folks with the prolapsed uterus, but they don't maintain it in that healthy space. They wait until the uterus falls into the vagina, and then they treat it medically through surgery or through inserting devices like a pessary that kind of like forces stuff up. It can damage the vaginal lining and cause stress. So they kind of wait till it gets really bad to do something about it.
What you have started doing and proposing through Indigemama has really caught the imagination of many women, mostly women of color, although now there's a lot of white women doing that too. And I know that you travel all around. Tell me about those meetings with women. What are they looking for? What is it that they want of their lives? And why are they so excited with what you bring?
Yes. I feel like I put out my medicine at a really crucial time in women's health. We are hungry for this stuff, and I've been privileged to be a part of that global womb wellness movement that so many folks of color are a part of. And man, there's just so many. Everywhere I go, I reawaken folks' memory of their abuelitas. And if they don't have, like, when they taste food, there's like, oh my gosh, my abuela used to make this. Now I know. Like, I just gave you a whole workshop on it, and now that you taste it, you remember. Like with tepache, fermented, like traditional fermented pineapple. They'll all, like, it comes back, like those really early childhood memories come back. And even with folks who didn't have abuelas, assimilation is real, and it's an aggressive tactic used to colonize and to keep us colonized, and it works. And so a lot of abuelas and madres have been assimilated into Western culture. So some people didn't get that, any of that traditional stuff. They grew up with macaroni in a box, and salsa from a jar. So folks like that, they come, and even they have their genetic memory reawakened. Like, this feels like home. I feel like I'm finally connecting in a way that I never had the opportunity to connect. This is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been searching for. And it's kind of like, instead of going out and studying, going abroad and studying, you're just coming home, you're staying home to learn this medicine.
Wow. Can you share with us a little bit about the results, or some of the results actually that you have seen in the people that you've helped throughout this time?
Yeah, I mean, the more immediate stuff, for example, during workshops, I teach a workshop called Matriz y Concha, which is like basics. It's like womb self-care 101. You learn how to do a vaginal steam, and we do the vaginal steam together. We learn how to do a little bit of self-massage, and we do it, and we meditate together. We learn a bunch of different herbs for the different stages of your menstrual cycle, different stages of a woman's life, pregnancy, birth, postpartum, menopause. So just how to nourish yourself, how to nourish your sexual health, your sensual health throughout all of your stages. And so some of the immediate stuff is just listening to folks and connecting. A lot of people feel that they've never been heard when it comes to their bodies. And it sounds outrageous and it sounds sad, but they just have never been heard, have never been listened to, not by their partners, not by their family, not by their friends, not by their healthcare providers. And just having a nurturing space where you could talk about your abortion, or you could talk about your miscarriage, or you could talk about your traumatic birth, or you could talk about, the time you were sexually violated. You're able to receive healing, because no matter what, when women get together, when folks get together for womb wellness, for sexual health, there is healing that happens just automatically. And in my private practice, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. In my private practice, I feel like a lot of the healing is more targeted. So I had a client who, she wasn't even my client yet. And she messaged me on Instagram, and she's like, oh, I want to see you, but I've been hemorrhaging for 3 months. And, I get messages like this all the time. And she's like, I got sent away from my doctors. They won't do anything. They don't know what it is. They don't give me any medicine to stop the bleeding. I'm anemic, and I want to see you, but I know that I can't see you when I'm menstruating. So tell me what to do. Like, I really want to see you. And I said, oh, okay, just take these herbs for a few days, and then let me know when your bleeding stops. The next night, she Instagrammed me. She was like, my bleeding stopped. Thank you so much. I made my appointment.
And you learned all that from your abuela, like the usage of herbs. Do you keep yourself updated? Like, do you keep studying and learning more, Panquetzani?
Yeah, I feel like my abuela, both of my abuelas have been the base of my learning, and my tias, you know, the base of my learning. And I've had the privilege also of learning from elders, learning from dreams is a big one, learning from experience, and learning from my clients. For example, I had someone come in with fibroids, and I do have them on herbs and supplements and like a self-care regimen at home. But someone who has active fibroids is going to be doing more research than me and staying up to date, you know, with like the newest stuff. So when she came back 3 months, like 3 months in between visits, because she had moved and then come back. And then when she walked in, I was like, darn, it's been 3 months. It's going to be like starting from scratch again. And she has fibroids. I was like, all right, I'm just going to brace myself. But her fibroids were actually shrinking. So the work that I was doing was still working while she was, you know, I was like, what kind of self-care are you? Like, you were doing your self-care, weren't you? She's like, oh yeah, I'm serious about this. The first time she came in, it was like a whole, like, honestly, like a different person. Like a whole different person. It was like a different energy, a different vibe, a different feel. Even her body felt and looked different. The fibroids were so much bigger. When she came back for her fourth visit, her fibroids had already shrunk by half. And so I asked her, okay, you're taking something different. What is it, you know? And she's like, oh, you know what? I am trying a different enzyme. And I was like, okay, let me write this, like, text me that enzyme, because I need to look into it and like tell my clients that you're having great success with it, you know? So learning from my clients and staying open and staying humble and asking questions and always being curious. Like I'm a lifelong learner, and there's no way I think that my learning is done. Like the more I learn, the more I want to learn. And I've had, so clients, elders, other herbalists. I've traveled to Mexico to study with elders in different comunidades. And so, so it's, at this point, it's a hodgepodge of what has worked for my clients.
I have a question that this work is amazing, and I wish I would have had also that support when I was in my childbearing years. I think during my generation was even worse than now. I'm 63. And these teachings are fantastic, and they're being spread all over. It has spilled over beyond women of color. What is your idea about sometimes appropriation of these traditional ancestral practices? How do you look at that? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel like appropriation is the new colonization. Everyone has a right to be healthy. And from time to time, I see white clients. They make their appointments and they come in, and I treat them. And I treat them the same, the same love, the same energy. It's different when it comes to appropriation, because when you appropriate someone, you're not practicing their tools for your body to make you healthier and better. You're taking them, you're repackaging them, you're making them inaccessible to the person who taught you, to the community that built the medicine, and you're selling it to a whole other audience, which is usually white folks who don't understand the cultural or historical context of how this medicine came about. Sometimes it pains me to think about, wow, in order for my maternal lineage and my paternal lineage to keep this medicine intact, how many of them were tortured? How many of them had to bleed? How many of them had to die? Because temescales on my paternal side, we still sweat. They still have a temescal outside of Mexico City. Those were banned. You were given, was it 21? You were given lashes if you were caught sweating, if you weren't ill. And then later it was made completely illegal, where even if you were ill and it wasn't for an acute use, if you were just sweating in general, you were whipped, basically. So in order for us just to keep that intact, imagine the fear, imagine the hiding, imagine the shame and the torture that we had to endure just to be who we are. And when it comes to folks who are appropriating, it's not who they are. They didn't struggle for this, and they're not maintaining the integrity of the medicine. They're not helping to preserve the medicine. They're actually harming the traditional practitioners. They're harming our medicine. And I call it another form of colonization, because when Europeans first invaded the Americas, the Western Hemisphere, they came and they felt that everything they brought was superior. They thought that we were less than human. And so now it has been the same for years with our medicine. They feel that Western research, Western scientific research is the ultimate research, but our years of time-tested science is not as valuable as theirs. They don't legitimize our work until it goes through its Western cleansing process, right? And then they don't want to legitimize like traditional sobadores, hueseros, doctoras, even parteras. They don't want to legitimize the traditional doctors. They call us brujos or brujas. You know, they're doctors, they're herbalists. Even the herbalists are doctors. Even the parteras are doctors. But they give us these diminutive terms like curandera. Like, yeah, we've turned it into a power term now, but it was initially meant to put us down, to say, no, we're the official doctors, you're the curandera. You just deal with whatever little mumbo jumbo you got going on there. We're gonna do the real health, you know? And so appropriating totally reenacts that history over again with our medicine. And I see a lot of white folks say, oh, this medicine is gonna be lost. This medicine we're losing it, so I'm saving it so that people could have access to it. We need all the people who can save this medicine to save this medicine. It's like, okay, so why does this medicine need saving? It's because of your intervention. So maybe if you stay out of it, we could save it ourselves. But they don't want to give us that autonomy. They don't want to give us the power that we need in order to rescatar nuestra medicina, in order to revitalize our medicine.
So you feel that in order to rescue our medicine, it should be practiced by the lineage that has received it and not pass it on to others.
I feel like I've had the privilege of learning from many lineages, so I can't say that I would only stick to my lineage. I know that in my body, that's the one that I feel most connected to, and it's my base. But I also know that there was a very conscious effort to cut these lineages. And I have one apprentice, for example, who has felt so lost because of the way her family was colonized. And so her working with my lineage has brought her healing. And now her mom has even come and participated in like classes and workshops. And so I feel like my lineage is helping to heal their lineage as indigenous folks, as fellow indigenous folks. because it's our collective body of knowledge.
Beautiful. So what is next for Panquetzani and Indigemama?
Yes, I'm going worldwide, baby.
Yes.
You should.
I'm using new technology to share old technology. I recently launched Indigescuela, which is an online platform to learn what I do. I have videos, I have recetas, I have a book that right now is only available to students. Pretty soon, right now I have it in copy editing. So depending on how long that takes, it's going to be available for other folks too. I have an advanced Sabadas retreat coming up that's private, just my advanced students. I basically told them, hey, let's learn deeper and stay in one room together and camp together and learn a little bit more so that we can help our communities. I have people from everywhere emailing me and calling me about, who do you know in Atlanta? Who do you know in New York? I need someone in Chicago. And so I want to help bring competent practitioners to those cities so that folks have resources, because what they're getting right now is not enough.
I love it. And can you, before we wrap this up, because we are about to finish our conversation, would you say that definitely happy mommy, happy children, whenever we take care of our not only body but our emotional field, is that results in happy children and healthier children?
For sure. And I feel like every parent intuitively knows that, like when they start to freak out, their kids freak out. And I'm a really big advocate of self-care, and I learned that the hard way, because a lot of times as women of color, we're taught to sacrifice everything, and we're taught that if you're not suffering, then you're not doing a good job. You're not trying hard enough, you know? And so I'm a big advocate of listening to your body in every moment, checking in with yourself after every interaction, and even, when I mess up and yell at my kids or like give them that extra squeeze when I'm talking to them, I make repair. It's, I humble myself. When I was a kid, no adult ever told me I'm sorry and I did wrong and please forgive me, or, that was wrong of me. Like nothing. So just bringing back the culture of love and repair and gentleness and openness and safety back to our families is super crucial to just having a healthy person and a healthy household.
Can I ask you one last question?
Sure.
And what's your belief, if that's not too intrusive? Do you believe in a higher being, higher self, a higher energy, or how does that influence your work?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I feel like if I practiced a religion, it would be the Mesoamerican religion. If I say a prayer or an incantation, it's to Chalchutlique or Tosi or Tonantzin, the earth. I believe what I see, and I see that the sun rises and gives us heat, and without our sun, we'll die. The earth brings us abundance, food. We go there when we die, and that's our mother. Honor our mother. The rain, it's fertility, bringing. Man, in California it doesn't rain so much, so rain is so important to me. When I see rain, I was like, ah! My son's name, my youngest son is Rain. His name is Kiawit, which means rain in Nahuatl.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Doctor, do you have any other question before we finish?
I just want to say I am so inspired to see your growth and what you're doing and your maturity and your serenity and the beautiful home that you have created. And I'm so excited that you're out there sharing this with so many women that we really need it. We really need this reconnecting with ourselves and with our ancestral customs. So it's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Where can our audience find you, Panquetzani? How can they reach out to you?
I'm on social media. I'm everywhere. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest.
Thank you. Can
My
you
website,
share your Instagram account? Is that the easiest way to find you, through Instagram?
Yeah, my website. Through my website, you can find all the platforms that I'm on. YouTube. My website is Indigemama.com. Indigemaa, Indigemama.com.
Perfect. And your Instagram?
And my Instagram is Indigemama. Everything's Indigemama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where can our audience find you?
And my website is my name, sirenapellarolo.com, SIRENAPELLAROLO.com. I'm on Facebook, Dr. Sirena Pellarolo. On Instagram, also Dr. Sirena Pellarolo.
Thank you again. We are honored to have the chance of sharing with you guys this amazing time. Thank you for sharing your time and your wisdom with the Mindalia TV audience. To our audience, also thank you for tuning, for being with us, for liking, for subscribing, for sharing this information with someone you know it's going to benefit of the content that we talked here today. And from our heart to yours, wherever you are, sending a big hug, and thank you again. Until next time. Bye, guys.